What's up everyone, this is M-Falcon here bringing you another raid guide video. So for this one we're going to be looking at Alolan Raichu and how you can solo it in 3-star raids. So, Alolan Raichu, different from a normal Raichu obviously, electric and psychic type. So it's going to add a little bit more potential weaknesses, which we'll go over in a little bit. Stats wise, about an average 3-star raid. The attack is pretty good for a 3-star at 201. Everything else is about average, what you would expect from a lower tier raid. Then going into the weaknesses, what you're going to want is Bug, Dark, Ghost, and Ground. What I'm going to focus mainly on when we get to the counters is Dark, Ghost, and Ground. There's a lot of good Pokemon to use for those types in particular. And then finally, the numbers you're going to want to look for, non-weather boosted, 100% is going to be 1224. And then weather boosted from rainy or windy weather will be 1531. So next we're going to take a look at the moves that Alolan Raichu will have. Alright, so looking at the moves for Alolan Raichu, there isn't really any that stand out as being too concerning. Wild Charge is a 2-bar charge move. Yep. So if you face one that has that, you'll see it start spamming that charge move over and over, and your Pokemon will more than likely take a lot of damage, unless if you're going to use just pure ground types. Then that will take reduced damage from electric attacks. Psychic attacks, decent move, 120 damage, but you're not going to be using too much that will be weak to psychic. The only thing that I would caution against that is if you're going to use a Gengar with Shadow Ball. If Raichu has psychic, then it's going to be super effective against the Gengar because of its poison typing. So I would just straight up avoid using Gengar unless you really need to, or you know it does not have psychic. Thunder Punch I wouldn't worry too much about. It's a fairly weak move. And its fast move Sparks, not too exciting. Volt Switch is a really good fast move, 24 damage. So very, very powerful there for a fast move. I believe that does gain a lot of energy for whatever charge move it has. So those are the moves you're going to be on the lookout for. Volt Switch, Wild Charge will probably be its best overall move set. If you face that, you might be getting a lot of damage done to you. Volt Switch Psychic, another one. But the weakest one will be Spark and Thunder Punch. You see that, definitely won't have any problem. So next we'll go into the counters. Alright, now so we're heading over to Pokebattler to see what counters it recommends for Alolan Raichu. And no surprise, Mewtwo's number one, Psycho Cut, Shadow Ball. There's the Ghost move that will be strong against Raichu. Second will be Tyranitar, Bite Crunch. Groudon is third, Mud Shot and Earthquake. And Gengar, number 4 with Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball. Or if you don't have a Shadow Claw Gengar, Hex will be just fine too. Again, I would caution against Gengar if you already have Mewtwo, Tyranitar, and Groudon, just because of the Psychic attack that Raichu will have. It will deal super effective damage to Gengar and more than likely one-shot it, if not get very close. If you don't have these top 4, I would definitely recommend Houndoom. He's very good. A good secondary dark type. Rhydon's a fine option too. Alakazam, if you don't have Shadow Ball and Mewtwo, a Shadow Ball Alakazam will be just as good. Maybe not as good, but it will be serviceable. And that's pretty much what I would be using these top 3 right here. Mewtwo, Tyranitar, and Groudon. And next we're going to go over my team, show you my setup, and then we'll see a solo Raichu raid. Alright, so let's take a look at the team I'm going to be running against Alolan Raichu. So I basically took from the top 3 of Pokebattler's counters list. Mewtwo, Tyranitar, and Groudon. I'm putting Groudon first because ground is resistant to electric attacks and it won't take a lot of damage from psychic. So I figure right away get something in that will last a little bit, deal a lot of damage. Once that's knocked out, Tyranitar is right after. All Bite Crunch. Bite Crunch, very powerful move set. Get off a lot of crunches before they get knocked out. And then towards the end, where you see Groudon and Mewtwo, get the last bit of super effective damage in overall with Groudon. And then if needed, Mewtwo is there to finish it out. This Mewtwo has Shadow Ball. It's a 2-bar charge move. So you can spam those essentially and get those last points of damage you need in to successfully beat the raid. So this is the team that I'm going to be using. I recommend it for anyone who has these Pokemon, has these move sets on them, to try this one, and I think it should work out pretty well. All right, thanks for checking it out, guys.